It just reminded me that you can't focus on the noise of the outside world. And unfortunately, a lot of people do. A lot of people focus on the noise, and a lot of people enter the dark space of the noise to benefit them. And when you are a person who lives your life.
Carlos King is back in the spotlight once again, and somehow Melody Shari's name has been pulled into the mix, even though the original discussion had nothing to do with her. Still, she finds herself connected to the debate, the comments, and the shade. That's why you'll want to stay with me until the end of this breakdown, because the way this situation has unfolded will leave you surprised. Nothing should be skipped here. So let's dive right in. Recently, Carlos King decided to go online and share his perspective about the world of reality television. Being one of the most influential producers in the industry and often called the king of reality TV, people naturally pay attention when he speaks. His main point was simple. Fans are the very same people who can elevate you today and tear you down tomorrow. He also added that reality stars are judged by their most recent performance and not by what they accomplished in the past.
There's going to be people who's going to poke you to get a reaction out of you. They're going to make up lies. They're going to just say things to get people to join them in their hatred for you. And you just have to pray for them. And as you pray for them, pray for God to fulfill them with something that they're missing. Because you have to be missing something. You have to have a hole in your heart to spend your time going against people who did nothing to you.
At first glance, this may have looked like an innocent statement. Just advice, right? A general observation about the way reality TV functions. But almost immediately, things took a different turn. Fans in the comments started mentioning Melody Shari, even though Carlos had never once said her name. That's when the debate exploded. Suddenly, all the old arguments, past scandals, and unresolved tension came back into the conversation. The question became, why does Melody always end up in the middle of discussions that have nothing to do with her? Why is her name brought up over and over again? The truth is, Melody has already announced that she's moved on. She has repeatedly told her fans that she will no longer be filming. Instead, she has been focusing on her acting career, her music, her speaking engagements, and her business projects like 7th Avenue Beauty. On top of that, she even launched her own television network and has been steadily building her brand without depending on the show. Melody has proven many times that she is not defined by her past role in reality TV. Yet, despite her clear efforts to move forward, people like Carlos King and his followers continue to tie her back into conversations that don't even involve her. So, what was Carlos really trying to say? His message suggested that stars are only valuable as long as their most recent episode is successful, and that they should avoid believing in hype because fans can use it against them. The problem with this is that it reduces real people to characters whose worth is measured only by drama. And Melody left reality TV precisely because of this. She was exhausted by the constant negativity, tired of being defined only by her storyline with Martell Holt, and frustrated that people refuse to see her as her own person. Even after legally changing her last name from Holt to Shari, Carlos and many fans continued to connect her identity with her ex-husband. And let's be clear, Martell has provided the show with enough drama to last for years, from his long-term affair with Ariane Curry, to his custody battle with Melody, to the very public arguments and accusations that never seem to stop. But instead of allowing Melody to create her own path, producers and viewers kept linking her story back to Martell. That's why so many fans now believe Carlos's comment was a hidden jab aimed at her. As soon as Carlos made his statement, comments started pouring in. One person specifically mentioned Melody by name, saying, "Yup, like Melody Holt," and that was enough to spark a storm online. Quickly, another fan defended her by saying, "Stop that. Melody is thriving in television and business. Her only issue is her ex-husband." That defense reveals something important. Even when Melody isn't directly mentioned, people still associate her with the exact situations she has worked hard to escape. Her own supporters struggle to let her live outside of the cycle of shade, gossip, and drama. The hypocrisy becomes clear when you compare how Carlos talks about other reality stars. For instance, he has openly praised cast members from other franchises, like one from The Real Housewives of Orange County, and made sure to clarify that his message was not aimed at them. But if he's not going to name names, why post a vague statement that gives fans room to target whoever they want? Carlos knows exactly what he's doing. He understands that fans will fill in the blanks and almost always drag Melody's name back into the conversation. On top of that, he has been avoiding directly acknowledging her in interviews unless absolutely necessary. When he does bring her up, he downplays her impact and suggests she could return at any time, as if her importance isn't significant. That's not honesty. That's shade disguised as casual commentary. Now let's shift to Kimmy Scott and Letitia Scott, because their names have also been pulled into this mess. Kimmy has faced a wave of criticism recently, particularly regarding how she's handled certain family matters on the show. Some viewers believe she avoids accountability and gets caught in conflicts without addressing them directly. So, when Carlos made his vague statement, many people argued that if anyone it applied to, it was Kimmy. Then there's Letitia, who has had long-standing tension with Melody. Their disagreements go way back, and Letitia's mother, Miss Wanda, has only fueled the fire by repeatedly criticizing Melody. This has kept the Scott family tied to Melody's story, even when she tries to separate herself from them. And in reality, this is another reason why Carlos knows Melody will always be mentioned, because her name continues to be linked to other cast members. Another layer to this is Destiny Payton. At one point, Destiny and Melody were close friends, but their relationship fell apart publicly. Around the same time, Destiny faced challenges keeping her beauty supply store, Madani, afloat, which led to criticism about her business skills. Meanwhile, Melody kept pushing forward, expanding her brand and protecting her enterprises. Once again, this created a comparison between her and others, reinforcing the idea that Melody has become the standard by which other cast members are judged. We also can't ignore the involvement of Ariane Curry, Martell's longtime mistress. She has repeatedly attacked Melody online, blaming her, insulting her, and refusing to accept responsibility for the damage caused to the marriage. Yet, despite her constant behavior, producers like Carlos rarely hold Ariana accountable. She isn't featured on the show, and she doesn't receive the same criticism. Instead, the person who was betrayed, Melody, continues to be targeted. That unfair dynamic frustrates fans, many of whom believe the wrong people are being protected, while Melody is left to face the negativity. Carlos's statement about reality stars being only as good as their last performance isn't just a random thought, it's a strategy. It's a reminder to cast members that their careers depend on the show, and that walking away could mean being forgotten. But this does not apply to Melody. She has done exactly what reality stars are encouraged to do: use the platform to build something greater. She created multiple businesses, pursued music and acting, and opened new streams of income. She even teaches classes on property preservation, e-commerce, and public speaking. What makes Melody a threat in Carlos's eyes is that she no longer needs the show. Her independence means she can't be controlled, and that's what makes his comment feel like shade rooted in fear. Fans reacted strongly after the tweet went viral. Some praised Melody, saying she is proof that success after reality TV is possible. Others claimed she would not be relevant without the show. The arguments quickly spiraled into discussions about Martell, Kimmy, Letitia, Destiny, and even past scandals that had already been rehashed countless times. Once again, Melody's name became the centerpiece of controversy, exactly the reason she left in the first place. The cycle of drama never ends because fans and producers won't allow it to. So let's pause and ask, if Carlos's statement were really true, why is Melody still thriving months after leaving the show? Why does she continue to land opportunities, earn income, and attract fan support without filming a single new episode? Why does her name trend whenever it's mentioned? The answer is simple. She doesn't fit the narrative Carlos is pushing. She is bigger than the show. Her influence extends far beyond reality TV, and fans recognize her achievements regardless of whether she's on screen. That's the real reason Carlos's words struck a chord. His comment didn't reflect the reality of Melody's situation. It revealed his frustration that he no longer has control over her success. And that's where we'll wrap it up for today. This situation proves one thing. No matter how much Melody tries to move forward, her name always finds its way back into the conversation. Carlos King's comments may have seemed harmless, but fans know there's more to the story. What do you think? Was it shade or just a general statement? Drop your thoughts below because I'd love to hear your take. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the latest updates.